I'm Megan Waldrop, host of the Partners of Commercial Fishermen podcast, an extension of an online community for partners to connect and feel less alone. Our podcast invites fishermen, family, friends, and supporters of the industry to learn, laugh, vent, and hear stories about this incredibly unique way of life. What do you say? Let's dive in. Hello, my POCF family. I'm so happy to be speaking with you today, and I hope everybody is doing wonderful out there. I know some of us have fishermen out in Bristol Bay. Some of us are enjoying time with our fishermen, and some of us are somewhere in between, or maybe they're in another fishery, because we're always out there doing experiencing our unique experiences. Double experiences there, y'all. But the thing is that no matter where we live, what fishery our fisherman is in, we can all relate on this incredibly unique lifestyle. And what's interesting on the back end as a partner of a commercial fisherman and founder of this community with a lifestyle blog is that people reach out to me, random people reach out to me all the time wanting to know more about our lifestyle. Not random people, but I get random emails. That sounds a little better. For example, I've gotten people from the World Wildlife Federation, various universities reaching out. I've had a person who's doing a Netflix documentary reach out, and we're not going to be a part of it. However, they did find us, and it's really fun, and it is an honor too to be able to represent our community. And I was speaking with Tonette Dixon, who's of the Newport Fishermen's Wives. And we were talking about how we kind of feel like the Google of the fishing industry, because when people have questions, they go to the Fishermen's Wives. And that's been happening for, since the beginning of time, since fishing became an actual business on this planet and human civilization. And I actually received an email not too long ago from an author in Australia. And I love our Aussies. We have such a great community in Australia. And we have a writer who reached out wanting to learn more about our lifestyle. She's writing a novel, and one of her characters is dating a commercial fisherman. And I'm like, heck yeah, we know all about this. So to kind of wrap up that email that I'm responding to her, but I think I'm going to make a podcast out of this. And it came at a perfect time, because I recently spoke at 1 Million Cups, which is, from my understanding, like a business networking meeting that happens weekly. I think they have them all over the country. But I was able to present on the Partners of Commercial Fishermen, and it was such a cool opportunity to speak with people who really don't know anything about our industry. Even to the point of where I had to explain that commercial fishermen, the reason that you eat wild caught seafood and that you get at the grocery store, at a restaurant, is from our fishermen. We are the people behind each catch. So it was really cool to talk to people that, did all kinds of various businesses. And I made a little slide presentation. I thought this was perfect timing, as I would answer all the questions that the author had. And also, I'm going to go through the slides with y'all and go through my presentation, because I think it's really fun just to get a real consensus of who we are and how I was able to represent us. And if you feel that there was anything that I missed out, I'm all ears all the time. You can email support@pocfpride.com, and I'd love to hear your opinion and what I can add next time I'm speaking with people and presenting, because I want to make sure that we feel validated and seen and represented well, because we deserve it. We're freaking the backbone of the commercial fishing industry. We are the decision makers of our household. We are the influencers of our household. We're the ones that can create change. We're the ones that advocate for our fisheries. We're the ones that care for our coastal communities and want them to be resilient so they can thrive for generations to come. Hell yes. Amen. Namaste to all of us. Okay. So if you haven't heard it yet, you are appreciated, you are valued, and you are loved. And thank you for being a part of this community. So I'm diving in to the presentation. So my first slide was a beautiful representation of, maybe I'll even, if I can figure out how to put this online, I'll do that. And then I'll let y'all know and send a link. But so I started off by saying, I'm Megan, and I'm the founder of the Partners of Commercial Fishermen community. It's an online community to help partners find comfort, seek emotional support, and connect worldwide. And we have members in the Carolinas, along the entire East Coast, Gulf Coast, West Coast, including Hawaii and Alaska. And we're also international in Canada, the UK, Australia, Indonesia, and more, which is, I mean, how freaking awesome is that? We are out there. So what is a partner of a commercial fisherman? It's a romantic partner of a fisherman, also known as the onshore captain, shoreside support, and the backbone of the commercial fishing industry. We also go by the term POCF. It's completely different from a family member or friend's experience. And we have members in our community who grew up in fishing families who can attest to that. We're often compared to military wives, but without the perks and benefits. And also, we're expected to participate in the fishing business from time to time. So the invisible labor of partners of commercial fishermen. It depends on the fishery, but here's a list of tasks that POCFs in our community have done or do frequently. And I'll note that many POCFs only realize how involved we will be once help is needed. So I'm going to go through this list real quick, y'all. Raising kids solo, bookkeeping, cooking and baking for the home and or boat, advocacy, provisioning, chopping bait, tying gear, building gear, stacking traps, painting buoys, washing bait jars, untangling lines, baiting hooks, making travel arrangements to get fishermen home from ports, ordering parts, coordinating with seafood buyers, etc., in addition to our other jobs and responsibilities. So I want to do a little quick story time. A few years ago, my fisherman Chris asked if I would help in the trap yard because his deckhand was sick. I said, sure. He said he would pay me. I said, don't worry about it. We start lifting these 70-pound traps, stacking them on top of one another, and we had 100 more to go. And I said, yes, you can pay me, and we're going out to dinner afterwards. And I shared to say that our contributions to the relationship go above and beyond that of a typical partnership. So some, on top of the physical responsibilities, we carry a heavy emotional load, including isolation, not really having people who can relate to our lifestyle. Or maybe you come from a fishing family and your family tells you to suck it up and deal with it. Yeah, no, that's no bueno. Fear of the unknown, so many fears of the unknown, including the safety and the danger of that our fishermen face every day. We think about our fishermen dying every time they go on the boat. I mean, essentially, not normal, not typical in a relationship. And communication at sea, as we all know, that can be super freaking challenging. Staticky phone calls, dropped calls. You only have a minute or two to talk to your fishermen. It can be hard. And also that, how does that affect the relationship? What's the connection there? So it's learning, whether they're long distance or whether it's a day fishery, just learning to reintegrate back into the household is challenging because they've been on the ship. Some of them have been captains on the ship. Some of them have been deckhands on the ship. Regardless, they've been on a boat. They come back. You've been captain of your household, making everything run the way you want it, having it look the way you want. You guys have your own flow if you're a family, and then trying to bring those two family heads together can be a challenge. Financial management. I think we all understand how fishing is so volatile. We don't know what the price is going to be. And also, sometimes fisheries shut down, and how are we going to make those dollars stretch throughout the year? Also, boats are expensive. Things break. You have to pay for it. And how are we going to find the money to do that? But we have ways to do that. We have had financial experts come and help us. I also have a financial guide that I put within the forum for people to download. It's like an 8-page guide to get super organized. And I digress. However, yes, financial management. Also, no schedule, are unable to make plans together. I know a lot of POCF struggle with not being able to go to family functions with their fishermen, maybe weddings, kids' birthdays, some holidays, and things like that. These are just some of the challenges that we go through. However, there are lots of perks, of course. We have more time off with our fishermen, more quality time when they're not on the boat. Being able to go out and see that type of world, going on the boat, eating amazing seafood, the list goes on. But the solution for a lot of these challenges is community with like-minded people. Our POCF community is so valuable because we know that no matter what we're going through, someone else has been there. Someone else is either, going through it right now, and we're not alone. We don't have to feel bad or feel judged for whatever feelings arise as we're going through it and maintaining the household as we need to. We learn skills to ease anxiety. In the new survival guide, I have a whole incredible 3 different worksheets that I got directly from my therapist. And it teaches you how to work through feelings of anxiety and worry and doubt, which have been super helpful. Also put some of that in our private forum. So private forum members hop on over. That was the June new resource of the month. Pretty awesome. Cultivating independence, being able to cultivate our rich inner worlds and to make our life flow the way we want, whether our fisherman is there or not, is the ultimate gift we can give ourselves. In the on season, in the off season, that's a gift that we can carry throughout our lifetime. And other solutions, conversation prompts. I also put this in the survival guide. And one POCF wrote me and said, I felt great. I felt really supported when I spoke with my fisherman. I had my questions ready and I felt the conversation was really helpful for the both of us. And I absolutely love that. Having conversation prompts to connect with your fisherman, whether it's long distance and you have like a minute or two to just have that meaningful connection before the calls drop, or whenever they're doing the day fisheries, because that can also be super, super monotonous for them. I mean, they're doing the same thing every day. So how do you foster connection that's more than, how was your day? Good. It's like, okay, cool. Well, that's just not really helping. And you can't really navigate how you want to proceed with conversations going forward if they're just kind of like doop. It's the same old. We got conversation prompts to help with that. Also, whenever they come back into the home after reintegrating, or whenever they're reintegrating after being gone for a long time, conversation prompts to just get you back to that couple flow again, going out to dinner and having these questions that you normally wouldn't ask that can prompt other conversations that can, just get down to the root of it, make you guys feel like you're that couple again, because you guys fell in love and you're best friends for a reason. This is your partner that you've chosen to be with for life, and they are so lucky to have you as a partner. And of course we want to foster that connection forever. That's our loves, Of course. And the other thing about being in a community with like-minded people is that we can get tips and advice from others who have been there or going through it, and also be reminded of what it was like back in the day. And I just love when I see women on our private group chat get together and, are just there for each other. When we have challenges arise, we tell each other what's going on and say, okay, yes, I totally understand what you're going through. This is what I did. Super helpful. And the budgeting tips and investments, budgeting and investment tips. I love this. We had a podcast with Maureen Marankovich, who went into detail about how they were able to finance their lifestyle basically and manage this for over 30 years, honestly. And that's where the budget template inspiration came from that I have for private forum members. And also you get it whenever you order the survival guide, you automatically get the downloadable, customizable budget template that will help you through all the seasons. And so they wanted to what other competitions out there. And I thought, okay, yeah, well, I guess you could say what's a similar group are Fishermen's Wives group, because they offer camaraderie, which is super important. However, not every coastal town has a Fishermen's Wives group, and not every partner of a commercial fisherman lives in a coastal town. We have so many of us who live in the middle of the country, live all over the world that don't have Fishermen's Wives groups. And the other thing is that Fishermen's Wives groups, their main focus is to serve local fishing communities, which is amazing that they're able to do that. It's so important. They do things like toy drives and helping raise money for damaged gear and things like that. But what makes the Partners of Commercial Fishermen community unique is that we are the support for those who support others. We are there to support those fishermen's wives. We have the resources to help support them. We get those monthly resources. We have experts come in. We have online connection that's accessible 24/7. So you can live anywhere in the world and access our community, whether it's on the blog, whether it's on this podcast right now. Thanks for listening. or, getting the survival guide or joining our private forum or joining our private group chat. You can be anywhere and we're here for you at the tap of your fingers. I mean, honestly, that's my favorite thing. And like I said, you can do our free offers. Just as a reminder, are the weekly blogs we have. You can sign up for our weekly blogs to get them straight to your inbox. So helpful. I love sharing letters from POCFs. I love sharing profiles about different POCFs who offer amazing advice, from motherhood advice to, just starting to date their fishermen, to some that have been with their fishermen for 30 plus years. It's really great. And of course, social media. I'm on there daily. You can hit me up at meganwaldrop.com. And yeah, I love getting up on, I'm always on stories. I'm posting funny reels, and it's a live thing. I love the comments too. The comment sections are great. So the paid offers that we have are the private members only forum on the lifestyle blog that was built just for us on the blog, POCFpride.com. We have a private group chat that I mentioned. It's on an app that you just boop, 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 text away like you're texting some of your besties, and we're there for you whenever you need it. And you can have there's a monthly membership, or you can sign up for a year. And also my new favorite, because all these are my favorite in one way or another, but the POCF Survival Guide 101, how to go from what the fuck to fuck yeah. Valuable tips and advice for navigating a relationship with a fisherman and yourself. And one of the feedback I got from the guy was the girl said, or the POCF said, yeah, it really was. I really did go from what the fuck to fuck yeah. And that's the ultimate compliment. That's what I want. That transition. She downloaded the guide, and within 24 hours, well, she said she downloaded the guide, and within reading the first few pages, she already felt better and less stressed and anxiety that she was feeling before she got it. Later, she was able to call her fisherman and have a meaningful conversation while he was gone. I think she lives in the middle of the country. No, she lives in California, I believe. But she was able to connect with her fisherman in a meaningful way, and also able to build that independence that we need. And just as women, we need it. But regardless, having independence within a partnership is such a freaking gift. And yes, we are all individuals in a partnership, but being able to have your own life that you look forward to investing time in. I mean, that is such a beautiful thing, because you can always go back to it, because you always have yourself. No matter what's going on around you, you can always go back to you, because that is the person that loves you the most. I mean, you are your heart. You know what I mean? You're the biggest champion. And I know sometimes it might not feel like that. And maybe you're like having a hard time with the word, loving yourself, because I've definitely been there. Okay. And it's a thing, but it's something to work through, and it's something to embrace. And because you're never alone when you're with yourself, you always have your own back. You know what I'm saying? You can always champion. And if you need help with that, that's what we're here for. We are here to help champion you as well. So I wanted to share this quote from a woman in Morehead City, North Carolina. I actually just drove through there the other day. I went up to Beaufort, North Carolina to run an errand. It was actually on the solstice, and I decided to take the long way down the coast, and it's so freaking beautiful down there. It's like, I don't know if y'all have been to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, but it is like a different planet. So beautiful, remote, and it's about like a 3-hour drive north, but Morehead City is only, less than 2 hours. And the fact that you could still get that Outer Banks vibe right up the road from Wilmington, North Carolina, it was such a treat. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. She said, I live in Salter Path, the middle of the island off Morehead City, North Carolina. Good people, but very closed community. The loneliness in this life I love has been so hard. I'm doing all right now that I found you in this group. I no longer try to fit in. I'm simply me. I found a godsend by simply Googling a question in deep despair one day and found your article on your experience. Turns out I'm not so weird after all. For many women here, it's a suck it up type of lifestyle, and that makes me sad now that I know that there's a better way. They almost wear it as a badge of honor, yet I know it covers a lot of pain, broken marriages, and heartaches. More than ever, this generation needs a better way, a safe harbor. Keep going, Megan. You're changing lives, and I see that in my beloved, that it's changing our men's lives too. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That means so much to me. I totally appreciate you reaching out, and I even appreciate even more that you feel that, because that's what I want for women. I want women and partners to feel that they can have all the feels. You know what I mean? It's the suck it up doesn't work at all. That's never going to be helpful. That's how resentment builds, and that's how pain just lives inside your heart, and you're not able to fully, express yourself and live your best life because you're not, I mean, I guess the word that keeps coming to mind is you're not, I guess, being bold enough to stand up for yourself. And yeah, I know what that means because I've also been there as a people pleaser. I'm working through that. So yeah. And if there's women in Morehead City, this is not a knock to, this is not a knock to the fishermen's wives out in Morehead City. I'm just explaining one experience from a woman there. And I would love to connect with more fishermen's wives in general, or fishermen's partners, all over the state. Cause our shared experience is so unique and beautiful. And I'd love to see what it's like for them. Living in a small community is completely different than living like in a city and then your partner goes to fish, or living in the middle of the country where nobody else fishes. All of our experiences are unique. So yes, shout out to that POCF in Morehead City. You go do you, girl, for sure. And yeah, if the suck it up doesn't work, I just want to, there's no winning there. And if that is something that you've been fed or have been told, it's okay to not do that anymore. It's okay to do what feels good for you, because in the end, your fisherman's going to also appreciate and respect you in a whole different type of way. But you're going to respect yourself in a whole different type of way. And that's what it's all about. So how POCFs create meaningful change. We have the enormous untapped capacity for positive change in our oceans and coastal communities because of the fact that we are capable leaders, teachers, and allies, and we're able to communicate in ways that people can hear us. I always say that we're able to see both sides regarding conversations between scientists, environmentalists, and fishermen. We listen with different ears, and we can find ways to communicate the needs of each person so our fishermen and scientists can understand each other. And we're an incredible resource for change in that way. And I want to help facilitate that within our community and beyond. And personally, I feel that the way that we can foster that change with scientists, environmentalists, and others is to sit down, whether it's on a Zoom or we're on a phone call or face to face, and we say, what are our goals? What do each of us want in a utopian society? What would be the ultimate dream world? I think we'll see that we have a lot of similarities of what we want. We want healthy oceans. We want coastal communities to thrive. And let's talk about what we want and then work backwards, because there's so many similarities there. We can all figure this out, and we can all work together to make the ocean and our coastal communities just a better place in general. So yeah, my ultimate goal is for partners of commercial fishermen to realize their value, build confidence in navigating this industry's volatility so they can live better lives in the fishing season and in the off season. That's what I want more than anything in the world. And I want to connect with more partners of commercial fishermen. Please DM me at Megan Waldrop, at Megan.Waldrop on Instagram. Please email me at support@pocfpride.com. I want to hear about your experience. I'd love to share it if you're open to it, or I'd just love to meet you and learn more about what's going on in your life, what challenges you're going through. I want to know what you need so I can help in some way. Maybe there's someone I know or I can find that can help us or help you, because you deserve it. You don't deserve to be isolated. You don't deserve to feel like no one's supporting you or you're on your own and trying to figure this all out, because there's no need for that. That's a lot of wasted time here. I mean, we are that for you. We are the gatekeeper of that joy in this incredibly unique lifestyle. And I always want y'all to know that you're never alone. So thank you so much for listening. I so appreciate you. And I can't say it enough how much it means that you are here every week. It really, truly means a lot. Also, I want to say open call. We're accepting sponsors to help facilitate this community and keep this community going. If you're any type of business out there and you want to get your name out to our precious community, I'd love to see more about, who you are and see if we would be a good fit. So you can email me at support@meganwaldrop.com or support@POCFpride.com, or you can DM me at megan.waldrop on Instagram. And y'all, it's been another episode in the books. Thank you to the Australian author who wrote me and inspired me to create more content about, more specifically about our lifestyle. I love sharing about what we do and what we're about, because we are freaking awesome and there's nobody else like us in the world. The commercial fishing industry would not exist to what it is today if it wasn't for the invisible labor of Partners of Commercial Fishermen, if it wasn't for the love that we give our fishermen. And the thing is, we didn't sign up for this lifestyle. We fell in love with a fisherman, and that's why we're here. And I love that, because we share that beautiful love and we have that one big heart. And that's what we want more than anything. We want to be able to thrive and we want to feel safe when we do it. And that's what the Partners of Commercial Fishing community is all about. So thank you for being here. I love you. And always with love and POCF pride. Till next time. Thank you so much for listening. To support our community, I'd so appreciate it if you'd tap the subscribe button to this podcast or write a review. And if you're a POCF who wants to connect further, go to POCFpride.com for weekly blogs and to learn about opportunities to join our private communities. We'd love to have you.